Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you see some funky little thing going on with that?
There was a lot of, we saw everyone else's homes.
Oh, well,
that's what it was.
Great? That was very cool. Very cool. So I wanted to start out with something that I thought was really amazing. Michael, Adam, you listening to this? This is big. Check it out, people. Jenny, what did you do last night?
I went to a concert in California.
In California. And who did you see?
Foo Fighters, Jennifer Lopez, Eddie Vedder, David Letterman was there, Ben Affleck was there.
Literally, guys, she was able to leave the house and go to a concert. And how packed was it? Like, what was the...
We were all shoulder to shoulder, you know, but...
And you said that there was a requirement, though.
Yes, you had to be vaccinated.
That's how they're going to get you.
That's how and I think everyone should have a choice to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel. If you want to do it, do it. It was a free concert, so I'm all about free.
So they would not let you in? Like, did you have to show your vaccination card?
Yes, we had to go early and show our vaccination card, proof of who we were. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
all
fun,
because I'm a Rams fan.
All because you're a Rams fan. SoFi Stadium.
SoFi Stadium.
Awesome. Well, okay, so I do have to apologize.
Okay.
Because we were going to do The Alchemist.
Right.
And we still are.
Okay.
But I just have to tell you, I received a gift in the mail of the 5-minute journal from a friend of mine, which was very sweet. And I started going through it, and I realized like it was so cool and so powerful that I had to switch it. So I pulled right out and I went right into this instead of The Alchemist. Now, I've got The Alchemist started, but this is a little bit more applicable to things we can do every day.
No, I think this is good. You have to listen to the universe, what you're supposed to do, and what's going to be best for all of us right now.
Correct. So that being the case, as far as I'm concerned, Jenny, let's jump right into the 5-minute journal. So I was telling Jenny a little bit earlier how excited I was just because as I started reading it, I started realizing that it is so applicable to, you know, whether you're climbing out of a hole, whether you're trying to reach to the next level, whether you're trying to find your purpose, whether you're trying to get better. It's just, it's nothing but healthy for anyone at any level of their life, Jenny. Like, and I mean everybody. Practically, you know, from 10 years old. So basically, and it's called the 5-minute journal, the simplest, most effective thing you can do every day to be happier.
Okay.
Right, and I think you and I were talking the other day, or somebody was, isn't life about joy and being happier? So.
Well, I think we say that almost every day.
So that being the case, you know, we're going to do it. So it starts out, the first thing the book says is that those who don't believe in magic will never find it. And so when they say those who don't believe in magic will never find it, what they're really saying is that it's talking more about how the universe brings things together for you and how, you know, certain things that happen to you, you don't realize why, and then it falls into place. And, you know, it's just the universe aligning your life and making you better. So those who don't believe in that magic aren't going to find it. So that's how the book started out. I'm like, okay, it's sparking my interest a little bit.
Yeah.
So, however, it's not a magic pill. There is a little bit of magic work here, but you still have to do the work.
Okay.
And it's not a lot of work.
Okay. Well, praise God.
So for us lazy people, like literally, it's no more than 5 minutes a day. Okay. So, and what it's trying to do is kind of get us to jump out of our comfort zone and take action and make magic happen. And this is the guide. So you ready?
Yes.
All right. So here's five reasons why you will love the 5-minute journal. Okay. These things we wrote down. Number one. It's the simplest thing you can do to be happier. And we know this, but it's proven that shifting your focus to positive things will always improve your happiness, right? So if you're positive, you're happy. If you're negative, you're generally not. So, but consistency in shifting that focus is the most important. So again, ties back in all the books and everything we've been reading. Number two. Actually, this still applies to the last one. So a positive quote every day, for example, a weekly challenge, and a structure to keep you focusing on what's good is what it's all about. So it's a great way to get you to start and end your day. So, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this is for the morning when you wake up, and this is for the last thoughts that you have before you go to bed. So it's supposed to be on your nightstand. So we'll get more into what that means. And it's built on proven psychology. So it's funny because it took 80 years for psychologists to focus on positive behavioral traits because they were always trying to work on depression and anxiety and disorders. But instead of like working so hard on helping you dig out of that hole, now they're realizing that if you can stay positive and become more of a positive person, that can help you avoid depression, anxiety, and disorders. So this journal is just a very teeny tiny piece of helping people to create routines.
Okay.
Easy daily routines. Okay?
I think that's very important.
Yeah, and because as we've figured out from all these other books, it's the teeniest, tiniest little shift that can take us to the highest levels.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just going to talk about creating those routines. Number 3, it's a journal for people who don't write journals.
Ah, even better.
Because, it's funny because you go back and you look at Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin and all of like the really great people from the past, they all journaled and they all diaried and they all, did all of those things, because they would track their days, and you don't realize the power of like writing down what happened that day and what you need to do the next day and all that. Now the reason that they say this journal is for people who don't do journals is most people will journal and they used to write pages and pages and pages of what's going on. This is literally like 6 lines.
Oh, okay.
That are like this big, so.
Yeah.
But have you ever wanted to write journal? Have you ever thought like that would be good for me?
Well, as a kid, of course we did. That was your diary. It was
your diary.
Very exciting.
All the things that us boys wanted to steal.
Yeah. My mom actually journals. Like she writes, and we laugh all the time because we're like, oh my God, what is she writing?
Oh, right.
When she passes, she's probably writing, oh, my kids, there's just, I can't stand, we can't wait to read her diary.
Right.
Or journal, excuse me. So I haven't, because also, well, let's see. Let's see what it's about, because I don't want people knowing what my thoughts are when I pass.
Well, it's for you and to grow. So, and is there anybody on the call, I don't know, that does any journaling? I mean, Steve, Janie, is anybody already journaling in the mornings or at night or anything? And if you are, speak up. And most people, I do not believe, are. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't look like. Nope. Bunch of nopes. Okay, good.
Nope.
All right, well, we'll see how you feel at the end of this. Now, I do want to add this, guys. We're going to be having our mid-year live and in person, all right, on June 17th. So we're getting the whole company together. And guess what, Janie, don't get upset. We're allowed to do it, okay? Because June 15th, everything is lifted. So the problem is the room is only going to allow 150 people, but we have 300 agents. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that, Jenny. But
lottery?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. So, and when we do that, we are going to be actually going through this exercise with you in the room, filling it out as part of one of the few things that we need to do for the upcoming year. So, just wanted to let you know. Number 4, this journal is a snapshot of your positive experiences.
Okay.
So the things that make you smile, nostalgically and things, they kind of say like, if you were to look back at one of your old photos, Ginny, there's probably some photos you could look back at and you would smile, from high school, from college, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if you have journals and you've been doing it all this time, you can flash back at any time you want, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, and know right where your head was at that particular moment. You know what I mean? Devin Anderson reacted to my story. Isn't that funny?
Hey, kid.
So you have the ability to flip to a certain day or a specific year in your life, zoom in on where you were and how you felt that day, which is kind of cool. It's basically just a written chronicle of your memories, your ideas, and your dreams. So kind of fun.
Yeah, especially if it's only 6 lines.
Yeah, exactly. How much is really going to be there? So it's a commitment you can stick to. And foolproof your commitments to writing frequently. Like that's where we really got to work on, and that's where this thing is doing. Is like most of the stuff that we're going to be going over today is going to be saying like, Michelle, Steve, all you guys out there, make sure that you are writing in your journal, because I guarantee it's going to help you. By the time I'm done with this little presentation, you guys are going to be like, oh, I'm doing it.
Okay.
All right? So how often do we shrink away from practices that we know are good for us? We do it all the time. Whether it's if I'm starting to get into reading, or I'm starting to go to the gym, or I'm starting to eat healthy, or I'm starting to food prep, or whatever, this is the same kind of thing. This ranks up there with those things of, living your best life and all that. So we have to just kind of train our brains to do it. And the way that they were proving it, that this happens to everybody and it's inescapable, is, did you know that 44% of all doctors are overweight? 44% of all doctors are overweight. These are people that have studied the importance of exercise, the importance of food, the importance of all those things, yet 44% are overweight.
Do they do it to make you feel comfortable? So when you go in?
Well, either that or they're just human.
They're just human, and they're just practicing.
The other thing is professors. There are a large number of professors that procrastinate. And how about presidents? There's a lot of unfaithful presidents when they're supposed to be the most loyal, trustworthy. I mean, it's just the way it is. So we just have to figure out how we can make these simple and effective actions, that will get us into the habit of journaling. And they were suggesting that if this journaling was going on and stuff, it will help you keep at the weight you want to be. It will help you make the food that you eat, the food that you want to eat. It will help you have the right mentality. It will help you get up stronger and better.
Okay,
and what the book is suggesting is that you ever have those days where you just wake up and you just feel like, okay, first off, you have the days where you wake up and you said, oh my God, Jenny woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I've said that multiple times when you've come into the office. Jenny woke up on the wrong side of the bed today.
Not true. It's not true.
Especially when she's working out and, doing certain things, but whatever. But those days occur, right?
Yes.
Okay. But do you ever have days too where you wake up, like what did Jen say when she walked in the room today? It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
So what this journal basically does is if you write down the things that you want to get accomplished that day and answer the questions that are in here, it says that basically you start to get yourself into a mentality where you're waking up every day saying it's going to be a good day. Instead of saying, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, damn it. So it's just simple and effective actions that'll get you in the habit of journaling every day and focusing on the positive changes that Jenny and Chuck and Michael and Adam and Steve and Jake and John Hill and all of us need to be doing every day to be our most effective and best us. Right?
Okay.
So here's how it works. And you guys know the standard quote, we are what we repeatedly do. No question about that. Excellent then is not an act, but a habit. Do we agree?
Okay.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit.
Okay.
So it's repeatedly doing the right things that continue to make us successful. Whether if you're in real estate, it could be the way you're keeping in contact with your clients, how you're farming, how you're doing your lead gen, all those things. But if you do them every day, you can't help but be successful, right? So, and if it's the gym, going to the gym every day, you're going to be fit. So that being the case, even if you're ambitious, it is difficult for us to implement a series of new behaviors into our life. So just the thought of adding one more thing you have to do.
Well, it's like what I said in there. Most of us are just trying to get through the effing day. We really are. Trying to make sure we have enough money to go to Stater Brothers. God, it'd be great if we could go to Target and have an extra whatever to spend. That's real. So, and the thought of doing one more thing sometimes is so overwhelming. But that's why when you said it's just like a couple lines, I think then we can all get on board like, I can do that. I can take a moment for myself.
I agree. And again, it just sits at your bedside with a pen. That's it. So
just don't turn on the TV as quick.
Well, we're going to be talking about that.
Oh,
we're going to be talking about that. This can be talking directly to you. No, I'm just kidding. So knowing that 44% of doctors, are overweight, there's in here just a small discussion on the research in self-control and regulation and willpower. And, willpower in someone, you only have so much willpower.
Right.
And I only have so much willpower. And, the more the willpower, the more maybe the level of success and commitment to certain things. But one of the things that I thought was important is the more stressed someone is about their life, or the more high levels of pressure and things that they have on them, it says the more likely they are to, have difficulty resisting temptation. So like the people that are really stressed are the ones to most likely grab that donut sometimes. Although you can find it in the opposite too. So I thought this was pretty interesting. Like the super high level producers that are still fit and doing this and doing that, you're like, how do they do it? How are they balancing it? But willpower. But so you just have to be careful. So for the top producers and all that sort of stuff too, the more stressed you are, that you're going to have more temptation to eat junk and do all that sort of stuff. But from those high achievers, that's where this journal was created. So this was, how many times have we had our mid-year events with 1,000 people in the audience? We bring up the top 5, and you say, do you guys do affirmations? And they say, I write them every single morning. I get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and I write down exactly what things I want to get done that day.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff was built by using the exercises, mindset, and repetitions of top-performing people.
Okay.
And this is what they do. And it kind of combines several principles that they kind of weave into the fabric of their lives, as something that they do every day. So basic principles, the beginning and the end. So it all begins with the beginning of your day and the end of your day. So it's what's the first thing you do when you wake up and what's the first thing you do or the last thing you do when you go to bed. So that's really what this is about, the first thing and the last thing. So this says that, even from ancient times, people have had these rituals of affirmation. Buddhist monks, CEOs like Jobs. Did you know Jobs had his own monk?
No.
A guy that would literally sit, his own like little Dalai Lama type dude that would sit there and do meditations and all day long and, you know, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
That's what we need.
But, you know, for him to be at that high level, so, you know, and the monks chanting and chanting and chanting and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, so by keeping this at our bedside with a pen, when we wake up, before we do anything, the first thing to do is write into this journal. The last thing before we go to bed is write into this journal, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So, and Ben Franklin, you know, accomplished a ton in his life. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man wealthy, healthy, and wise. Right? So, and you do go to bed early, by the way. I've texted you.
I was so embarrassed.
I texted you and it was like noon, and she's like, I'm in bed.
You texted, it was 8:30, and I responded at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. You're like 10 more years from supper at 2. And you're going to call it supper. You know what I mean?
We will.
Who's ready for supper? It's 2 o'clock.
Well, my people are from Oklahoma.
Oh,
they do
that's
say
true.
supper.
That's true. That's true. But Ben Franklin's back in your play.
Yes.
Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, and these are all quotes from the book, by the way.
I love it.
So, why should I write the minute I wake up?
Yes.
And this is what I was talking about. Have you ever had those days, you know, where you just felt easy, effortless? You know, you kind of woke up with a smile. You know, and the way to get to that every day is this journal. So, you're waking up with a kind of precious opportunity, is what they're saying, to set the tone for the rest of your day. And these precise questions will create that positive habit loop. Okay, so here, well, actually, I don't know that I'm going to get into the questions yet, but there's no excuses. Like, if you feel sleepy, write it anyway.
Okay.
If you feel unmotivated to do it that morning, write it anyway.
Okay.
If you're late for work, write it anyway. Okay, so it's saying, like, you cannot make excuses. Like, if you're going to commit to this, you have to write these when you wake up at that particular moment. And by the way, you guys don't need to order this 5-minute journal book yet, because I'm going to be giving you this or something like it at the mid-year next month. Okay,
awesome.
So just be aware of that. So, and this is one of the other things too. So like, oh, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I'm this and that. And here's something that I've learned, right, Jenny? Growth isn't all roses and honey.
No, it's awful.
Growth is a bitch. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Steve, you've been through crap in your life. Isabel, you know what I'm talking about. You know, Jake, you're young, but you've probably been socked in the nose a couple times.
He has. He's got some good stuff.
Sonia knows what I'm talking about. Tom knows what I'm talking about. John knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. I agree.
Growth
is a bitch.
It is.
But you know what? Yeah, you grow and you stretch and you get better.
You grow and you stretch and you get better. That's right. So, you know, growth, again, I'm going to say it again. It isn't all honey and roses. It isn't always comfortable. And it doesn't come with a cut boat, you know, a little present over it, Jenny. It doesn't. It comes with one of these.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? And then,
right in the kisser.
And then it kind of turns you into the next person you're going to be. But the reward of this growth is priceless, right? So, and it's funny because as we get older, you know, sometimes you start to realize that I'm going to come out better on the other side from all this, you know, hopefully. And, you know, and then hopefully your relationships are a little bit more fulfilled. You have improved your health and fitness. You know, I mean, one of my friends, his dad had a massive heart attack at like 54 years old. And from that massive heart attack, being bedridden for all those days, then he became a vegetarian. He started walking every day, you know, all that sort of stuff. Ended up living his best life for his last 15 years. So that's kind of what I mean, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Sonia, are you writing? It looks like you might have something. If you have anything to add, you just let me know. Or maybe you're eating breakfast. Oh, never mind. Keep eating breakfast. So when it comes to growth, resistance can get in the way of the growth we need. And resistance can cause, you know, fighting and trying to fight those things can cause depression, weakness, and credit card debt. Okay.
Oh, ouch.
So resistance is the issue. So writing in the morning allows us to push past our resistance, give ourselves the opportunity to grow, and make the commitment to keep going and to leave our mark on the world. And I believe, and that sounds like a big deal, like an arduous task, right? Like, oh my God, leave my mark on the world? Yes. I believe this is real. I believe this can do it. So that's how excited I am right now.
Okay.
Right? I'm getting fired up. All right, so, and the other thing, and here's the big one. I want you all to be listening. John Hill, are you listening? Everybody out there? Steve, Jake, Janie, Leanne, Deborah, this is big. Ready? Never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. Never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious.
Such as?
Thomas Edison said that. So like if I know that,
that's a good one.
You know, I need to work on my personal relationships, or I need to start being a more positive person, or I need to, you know, I need to make sure that I start getting myself back down to under 180, or whatever it may be. But if that's the last thought that you write down before you go to bed, you're going to hit it, or I need to, make sure that I become a $200,000 producer, whatever it may be, because then you sleep on it and it just becomes ingrained and, well, like we said before, like weaved into you. I like it.
I like that a lot.
You guys like that? I mean, that's pretty legit.
It reminds
Isabel,
me a
good.
lot of like the ninja selling stuff, like how you write, what was it, 250 times or whatever. But this, I think you write that one time before you go night-night, so it's in your brain. I like that a lot.
I like it too. So, so that being the case, so why should I write just before going to sleep? Right now, do you have a routine before you go to sleep?
Me? Sure.
I mean, my son told me
I
last
do,
night, he's
actually.
like, I watched 2 episodes of How I Met Your Mother before I go to bed every single night.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing wrong with that.
and
Don't
then
you judge.
It automatically sets him up to go to sleep. You know what I mean? So everybody has their little rituals. Like
Yeah.
for me, I have the way I do mine too. But here's the sad part. Most Americans, ready for this, Adam? This applies to you. Most Americans watch 5 hours and 11 minutes of TV per day.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Right, who are those people?
Yeah.
They aren't my friends.
5
Weak.
hours. Now they were basically saying like things could change quickly. So if it's not 5 hours and you're like, oh, I don't do that. Okay, add in the time you're dicking around on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what?
Well,
Totally.
for Adam, it's not 5 hours of TV anymore. It's 5 hours of video podcasts.
Right.
Same thing.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. Well, I mean, but actually, because of your job, I'll let you off the hook on that.
Yeah, because that is his work.
But but so, what do you do before you go to sleep, and is it making you better? So go ahead.
Certainly.
Go ahead.
Well, I do. I stretch every night before I go to bed, and yes, I wash my face, I brush my teeth, and then yes, I do watch either 1 or 2 episodes of Schitt's Creek, or it was The Office before it went off of Netflix because I hate commercials, or Arrested Development.
That's funny.
They were rookie numbers.
So, and that's what they're talking about is most TV watching happens before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And this is where most people choose to invest their time in themselves. This is where they want to, and you know what, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You enjoy it. I see you smiling about Schitt's Creek. And when you say the names of these shows you're watching, you're smiling. So that's cool. But the book suggests you can do that. But even if you're just laying there watching TV, fill it out.
Totally.
That's it.
Totally.
How easy is that to do? Do you watch TV in
no.
bed or do you watch on the couch?
Both. But no, in bed.
In bed?
I watch TV everywhere.
You have one in every room. It's like having speakers in your house. You move to here.
Yeah.
Oh, pick it up over
yeah,
here.
Got one in the bathroom.
Yeah,
over
I carry this around with me, so I'm watching TV all
That's
the
so
time.
funny. Okay, so reading and journaling before you go to sleep, it's just a step in the right direction. I believe it, and it turns a good habit. It turns to a good habit like brushing your teeth.
It's so true.
And one of the
That's so true.
suggestions that this had is to journal before you brush your teeth. That way,
Okay.
it becomes a habit.
Like at bedtime?
I need to brush my teeth.
Okay.
Oh, let me fill this out first.
That's a good idea.
So that's kind of what one of the suggestions was. Relationships. Some are filled, some are drama filled, and some just get better as time goes by. So and I'm talking about like a couple, like you and I could be arguing and doing this all the time, or we're just getting better and falling more in love and more happy and all that sort of stuff. And it says the secret is that the good ones resolve any conflict before they go to sleep. And the ones that have lots of drama and stuff, they will get in a big fight, roll over, and go to bed.
I have to disagree.
Really?
You want to know why?
Yes.
And okay, this is for now they have bridal showers for both men and women. They always ask, what is your biggest suggestion? What do you find most helpful? I swear, I find it most helpful to go to bed angry sometimes, because I swear, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, why was I so mad about that? That is so stupid. But, I mean, we're only on 22 years, so what do I know?
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, this suggests the opposite. This
I know,
says that,
and I'm open and I'm listening.
This just says if you have an issue, try to get it done before you go to bed so that you can wake up with a clear head in the morning. And if you're in a big fight, your journal might not look good.
And probably if it's a big something,
Yeah.
And so, knock on something. You're right.
There you go.
You're right.
There you go. Okay, cool. Tony Robbins says rituals define us. She says that's absolutely true. So journaling is the same. So the journal will help focus on the positives and the short circuit the negatives. No matter how your day was, you'll sleep a little better if you do journal. And before you go to bed, no matter how tired you are, again, had a long day, write it anyway. I have a headache, write it anyway. I have an early morning, write it anyway. That's kind of the suggestion. So let's talk about the morning routine though.
By the way, Joanna wrote in our chat that she says she does journal. I just wanted to
Oh, good. So we do have
Joanna, adorable.
Okay, good. So we have
Good for
somebody.
you, girl. Go on.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the morning routine, today's gratitude list. So you wake up in the morning, and it says, what are the 3 things that you can be grateful for today? I thought that was a good one. You know, what things can you be grateful for today? And I think I actually might even have, they might have put some suggestions in here.
Things you are grateful for today.
Yeah. So here's one, actually I might have put it in here. Let me see if I did real quick. It basically says like, the warm bed that I sleep in. My body that is working on perfect harmony. Like my systems are still working good. I can see and all that sort of stuff. The true and genuine friends in my life.
Yeah.
So by writing those things down, you're kind of just
you're starting
setting your day out with
so good.
things you appreciate. So, and it says our greatest strength is that we can focus our minds on whatever we choose, right? So if I wanted to go get a video game from one of the millennials in our club, or in our company, and just like want to be the best at it, I could do it. It would take me a long time, or we can focus our minds on whatever we choose. So if you're starting your day in a place of Zen, and you're like super calm and cool and collected, then you can handle almost anything. It's going to be a lot harder to get rattled. So, beginning the day by counting your blessings is key.
I love it.
And it's the kind of antithesis of a bad hair day or waking up, on the wrong side of the bed like we talked about. And that's what I was saying. So I'll say it one more time. A perfect example would be, I am grateful for the warm bed that I sleep in, my body that is working in perfect harmony, or the true and genuine friends in my life.
It can be simple things.
Very simple.
You don't have to dig deep all the time.
For sure. I don't need to go grocery shopping today. But it's that simple. It's little things, So
Yeah.
it also suggests writing things that may not have happened yet. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
So they used a relationship example. I am grateful to be in a loving, healthy relationship with a partner of my dreams. So like for me, I would put that in there. You know what I'm saying? Or for somebody else, they could put, I am excited to be under 180, or I am excited to whatever. And putting that into your journal as things that you're grateful for is kind of, they suggest forecasting a little bit, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what is gratitude? Remember we talked about that a little bit in the last book? And it's the willing to recognize the unearned increments of value in one's experience. So I know that sounds confusing, so let me give it easier. Counting one's blessings.
Okay.
It's the inexplicable feeling in your body, of gratitude that makes you smile at strangers. So if I see Michael and go, "What's up, Michael?" I have a little gratitude in myself that's making me do those sorts of things. So gratitude, of course, is a big, big piece of all this, and it's been in all the books we've talked about, right?
Right.
So why do scientists love gratitude? I think you already know the answer because we talked about it. Do you remember?
Something about, it was in my stem cell or something. It was in
dopamine.
Dopamine.
Right.
In the back of my neck.
Right. So gratitude shows quite a transformation in humans, ranging from students to retirees. So there was a study that shows that journaling creates better sleep, reduction of physical pain, greater sense of well-being, and a better ability to handle changes. So, but delving deeper, it turns out that according to this book right here, gratitude could be the ultimate magic pill for happiness. Feeling like you're in a pretty good mood, but that's probably because you're happy with your life, and you're happy with Jeremy, and you're happy with your car, and you're happy with your house. And if you were not, it would be a little bit harder to carry around happiness. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you have a lot of gratitude. I think that's why you're such a positive person. So what they did was that they did a study using an MRI on the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is, the powerful part of your brain that influences sleep, eating, and stress. Those 3 really important things. And what they found is that, yes, when you are doing gratitude, and they were doing it while this MRI was on and all this stuff was going on, it was releasing dopamine, and it was, showing that you are starting to create new learning pathways. And journaling and gratitude, acceptance and all that is the closest thing to the magic pill, is kind of what they're saying. And I know I'm really selling journaling, huh?
No, you totes.
But do you guys agree with me? I mean, Janie, do you agree? I mean that, and I'm just trying to put a big sales pitch on because I think it's going to make everybody better,
I'm going to try it.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, we're going to get you these books at the mid-year coming up next month. But creating a better day is important. It talks about that. That's another one of the exercises. Why is it that when you buy a new car, you see it everywhere?
I know, right?
Everywhere. Or when you're thinking about, and I'll never forget, I was thinking about buying a Suburban, my first Suburban, back in the day when my kids were little, and I saw that Suburban everywhere I went. And it's because of something called the Reticular Activation System, your RAS. And it's kind of like universal experiences, and I'll explain that to you. But the Reticular Activation System, it turns on and off your perception of ideas and thoughts and determines the lenses through which you look at the world.
Okay.
So if I'm thinking cars, I'm thinking, oh my God, this white Tesla, like you did when you bought yours, and all of a sudden you're seeing them everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's because your reticular activation system knows that you were thinking about that car, and it's just proof positive that what you think about is what you see. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, the ultimate real estate agent, when they're out driving around, they see opportunities. Look at that dead grass. Or like yesterday I was on the golf course and I could see a couple that was wandering around a house, looking through the windows and all that sort of stuff in this house. That's legitimate buyers. But why do I see that?
Right.
Because I'm in the real estate business and my reticular activation system is doing that. So again, it turns on and off your perception of ideas and thoughts and determines the lenses through which you look at the world.
I love it.
So, just something to keep in mind. And your RAS, so again, when you see the cars, it's just your RAS gently reminding you that you made a decision. And it's just the changes that you made in your life that are now permanent. So, this is interesting, and I thought you would like this, Jenny, because I don't know why I thought this would apply to you. But there was a study also done in the book that when you think, and think about this, Michael. I wish I could put the camera on you right now. What is your favorite funny movie? What's the first couple that pop in your head that you would want to throw on the TV? I mean,
Don't be embarrassed, just say it.
I don't know. The first movie that came in my brain right now was Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. But you see the smile on his face right now? That's the point, Michael. So check this out. The study found that people who are thinking about watching their favorite funny movie, their endorphin levels in him right now, do you see him kind of getting all happy? Increases by 27%. Just thinking about watching a funny movie. So the anticipation is often the most enjoyable part. But you see how that works, though?
Totally.
And so, the last question in here for the mornings is, what am I grateful for? So that question is, what would make today great, Jenny? So you have to answer that question in the mornings, okay? What would make today great? And so they had a girl in here who was a 20-something, and she wrote down they just listed out her 3 things that she thinks would make today great. Number 1, being able to take a little extra time for myself before leaving for work in the morning. That's one she put down. The love my mom shows me, and I'm going to write my mom a thank you note today. The other one is getting to sleep before 10 p.m. So those are the things that she wrote down for that day that would make today great. And it's just important to notice that when you write down what things would make today great, it says that you need to write down things that you have control over. So like, I'm grateful for a sunny day, and then you walk outside and it's shitty weather. You know what I mean? It has to be things that you control. So let me say this. I love my mom, and how she shows me she loves her. I'm going to write her a note and thank her. That's something that you control. I'm going to go to bed at 10 p.m., before 10 p.m. I'm going to take extra time for myself before leaving for work. Those are all things that she can control. And so you kind of get that.
Yeah.
So when we list out the journal, it's things that you control. Because I could elaborate on a lot of things that I can't control.
No.
And here's one of the quotes that was the next quote. This is Muhammad Ali. It is the repetition of affirmations that lead to belief. And once your belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. So whatever you believe deeply and that you write on, you're repetitious over and doing all that sort of stuff, the world will open for you. And you know what? I haven't heard anything from Sonia today. Should we dig in and see what kind of notes Sonia's got written down?
What's up, Miss
Sonia,
Lady?
what you got?
Yeah.
What you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking I need to journal.
Right?
I don't journal. I never have. And I have learned and studied, and, I tell people sometimes it can help in this sort of thing. But to me, it's more of, I wake up with a quiet time. I wake up and I just spend a little time with myself before I even get out of bed. And then at night, I do the same thing. I turn off, there's no TV or anything, and it's just me and the world for a few minutes. And maybe that's kind of like journaling. I just don't write it down. So I'm really learning a lot about this. I think it's interesting, that the action of writing can actually make that much difference.
True. Yeah. So I like that. So now it's daily affirmations is kind of what it gets to next. And my shower mantras and all. I'm not going to get into that, but a statement of what you want in your life. And this is big. So, and by the way, if you're still listening out there, how many people we have? Some people left. You have ideas about the person you want to be in the future, and the future person that you want to build. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is they talked about something called brain priming. Brain priming.
Okay.
And brain priming is what they did is they went to a bunch of different hotels and they brought all the staff in for staff meetings. This was the study. And they were given a tracker. You know how you love your little thing? And the tracker would track how many calories they burned. And then the other people from the other hotels were not. And the ones that had the trackers and knew that they were being tracked, almost every single one of them lost weight. And the other people that were just talked to about it but not given any tracker or anything like that, they did not lose weight. So basically, that's kind of what it was talking about, brain priming. So, you know, how can you prime your brain to cash in on that? And it says, you know, every time you write down an affirmation, if you're writing it over and over and over, you're priming your brain to start building this belief in your mind. That's what the top producers do. When those big panels, when we do the 1,000 people in the room, they're all saying the same thing. They're just up writing their affirmations. And next thing you know, they're making $1 million, $2 million bucks a year. You know, and things just begin to change from within. Things begin to change from within. And there was one guy that was journaling in here, and his problem, and he knew his problem was his confidence. He didn't feel good about him. And so his daily affirmation was, and it says, I am, ... confident and comfortable in my own skin.
That's
so that
good.
was their daily affirmation. I am confident and comfortable in my own skin.
Don't you just wish that for everyone?
Of course. You know, and I didn't, and probably because I'm such a narcissist, like I didn't really know that people, you know, I mean, I'm kidding, but trust me, I got my own issues. But throughout the day, you know, he started to notice the world from a different perspective. So he said, you know, when he goes up and he bought some tea, he smiled at the cashier. Sounds like a small deal, but for somebody like that, that's a big deal. So he's showing like, hey, now you're smiling back. You know what I mean? So he started with these little steps, but he's writing that every single day. So he's writing, I am confident and comfortable in my own skin.
I like it.
And again, something else that he can try to control.
Right.
And they talked about some examples in the book, like, you know, Jim Carrey wrote that check to himself for $10 million, you know, and then he had a date on it, and he hit it that year. Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you've ever watched any of the old Pumping Irons or anything like that, or Will Smith, these people, they are super dialed in on their affirmations, and you know, whether it's a check you're carrying on or whatever, but there's proof all over the world that this stuff works. So here's some I ams. Here's some examples that are in the journal. So I am, this is somebody's. I am able to live with passion and purpose. I am in a loving and passionate relationship. I am, you know, going to earn $100,000 per year. Just a couple examples of affirmations that if I put them in my head every day, they're going to start paying off. Okay. So, any comments or questions on anything? Because now we're going to move on to the night routine. And actually, I'll probably be ahead of the game a little bit today.
Okay, cool.
So the night routine.
Hey,
yes, yes, Steve.
You mentioned Ninja a minute ago. What they have you do is you write your affirmations 25 times a day for 30 days, and then you switch to another one. So,
So, like, can you give me an example? Like, what would be, like, is it just a sentence or?
Like I am grateful for, you know, whatever. And then, and you write it 25 times, and then so it gets ingrained in your head, and then you move on.
So it's kind of the same thing as when the teacher used to make you write things on the chalkboard when you were a kid.
Yeah. Your hand gets tired, and you're like, damn it. So you want a short, I am grateful, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, good. I like that. And this is similar. You know, this section right here when we're talking about, well, but this is the end of the day. But so as we're looking at the night, this is called the Amazing Three.
Oh.
And the Amazing Three. So, and it's taking inventory of your day's positive moments. And I had some really good friends that I used to do this with. We used to sit outside, you know, on their deck, and I'd go over there almost every night, and we would do exercises like this. And it says, take an inventory of your day's positive moments. It's, if you were to look over your day, there's an unexpected bounty of great things that you experienced that day. And it's really fun to go back and look at that and say, what are the three things, what are the positive moments that happened to me that day? And it's really fun to go back and look at those. And writing those down is really cool. And you can always refer back to that. So, and here's an example that somebody wrote. When I was in a dark period, I instituted a simple rule that changed my life. When I come home from work, I tell my wife the best thing that happened that day. No exceptions, no complainings. And so, and I don't talk about anything negative. So that's one of his you know, nighttime things that he figured out is like, when I came home and I told her that and I was positive, I realized how much I liked that. So, and it doesn't have to be anything great, you know, and I remember like when I was doing this exercise with, you know, my friend, sometimes it would be, I had the best cup of coffee ever today at this little place, blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't have to be that. Or for you, Jenny, it might be like, I brought in the greatest agent, and I'm so happy that Michelle Carney is here.
It's so fun. That does make me smile.
But it's those things, you know, or you know what? I got a call off one of my just listed cards, and I took a listing today.
Yeah.
So it's whatever it may be. So that was one of them. The other thing is they did a study of an intensive care unit. because they say that they have the highest stress levels, and because of that they have the highest anxieties and like lots of issues working in intensive care units. And they were trying to take those affirmations and put them into action.
Okay.
So here's some of the ones that they were using that were successful. I am, it's having a good day at work. So they just say that at night. I had a good day at work, and then it just starts to become I have supportive relationships that I'm making right now at work, and I also make the most of my leisure time when I am off. So it's just kind of putting those affirmations into action. So here's some other ones. So 3 amazing things that happened to me today.
Okay.
This is somebody's. Number 1, a friend recommended a wonderful book to me. I'll be your friend, the 5-minute journal. I took a beautiful walk in the park today.
Okay.
The barista remembered how I liked my Americano. So it's just things like that. It's just acknowledging, it goes back to that gratitude thing, but these are the things you're doing right before you go to bed.
Okay.
Right before you go to bed. It's basically counting your blessings.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, it's about the relationship with yourself. Because the only person that had that day is you. So you don't have to, you can do this for yourself. You're not doing it for other people, if you have kids out there or whatever, And then over time, your list starts to improve and get better and better.
You know what this just reminded me of is like when my kids were little, we always said our prayers, and in the prayers you would tell God what you're thankful for. Thank you for simple things. And I'm sure most of us, we should be doing that every night anyway, but this is just now taking our talk and writing it down. I think this is good. Go back to when you were kids, when you were so thankful for that blue marble you got or whatever.
That's funny. That's correct.
Yes, Danny, I just texted that in the chat. I remember going around the table at, my auntie adopted 8 kids and had 2 of her own, and we all got around the table every night, and she would make sure everybody went around and said what they were thankful for. And it was really powerful to hear, what everybody was thankful for, especially when there was 8 adopted children.
Yes.
They were thankful for the smallest things, having a meal today. It's just crazy. So yeah,
that is fantastic
that power
info.
of giving thanks is awesome.
Yep. And so here's one of the next questions that's in this journal. You'll like this one, Jenny. If you could magically go back in time and change something that you did today, okay, so this is before I go to bed, change something that I did today, what would I have done differently? What would I have changed today? Okay, so it could be, it could be something simple. You know what? I should have walked to the market to get this instead of going to Jack in the Box and getting 2 tacos, a jumbo jack, and a large fry. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically saying, like, and that's just an example. Like they were basically giving some examples that were a little different, but it could be saying something to someone or not saying to someone.
I wish I wouldn't have said that.
I wish I would have woke up earlier. It could be trusting your gut with a decision that I knew was going to frickin' bounce back and punch me in the nose. It's just a personal reminder that you shape your future, though.
I like that.
And it's the magic between your ears, and your perception shapes your reality. So, and how could I have made today even better? That's the last question. You begin to look at actionable ways in which you could have done something different to make your day even better. And this is an interesting example, and some of them are very simple, but a lady saw an interesting man in the coffee shop, and she really wanted to go over and talk to him. And she asked, how could I have made my day even better? And her answer was, I wish I would have walked up and said hi to the stranger at the coffee shop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, in a sense, right? Yeah, exactly. So she's, but now that she realizes that regret and she put it down on paper, she's now beginning to build a pattern, that maybe next time she will go ask.
Yeah.
How could I have made my day even better? By making my bed in the morning, or I could have called my mom, or if you think, and they said it, they were laughing at this because they say when you think of the things that you could have done better, generally 99% of the time they're smiling, which is really strange. Like he was with that, thinking of Happy Gilmore. So now it's getting to the end. We're almost done, guys. It says the ultimate measure of a man, guys know what I mean, of men and women, is not where he stands in a moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. So when things are tough, that's when the tough, isn't there a quote on that? When times are tough, that's when the tough get going.
Right.
So, and it talks about the weekly challenges. So instead of just your days, one of the next sections in here is the one that you do for the week.
Okay.
And according to this is where the real growth happens. And I was going to read this. So this one it says, and you have to make a commitment when you do the book. Here it is. Here's the commitment.
Okay.
So for example, I, Chuck Whitehead, commit to writing the 5-minute journal for at least 5 days in a row, starting whatever date. And I did this. I wrote mine right here.
Okay.
Write this journal is really important to me because, like this person wrote, I am committed to my best life. I want to create more abundance in my life, and I need more discipline in my life. If I finish writing this book, do all 5 days, I'll reward myself with a trip with a ski trip. I'm going to go skiing that day with my significant other. If I don't, I'll promise to donate $100 to a charity I don't support. So like, a Democrat could send it to the Republican Party or Republicans or whatever.
So funny.
So I'll do the following things to ensure that I do. I'll keep my 5-minute journal night by my bedside. I'll brush my teeth only after I've done the journal. I'll set my alarm only after I do my night journal. That's interesting.
That is.
I'll share my commitment with someone I love. And I will sign up for tips with Journal Habit. Oh, there it is. There's the shameless plug.
Oh, there it is.
So, and I wrote all mine out, and answered those same questions. But, I thought that was kind of cool. That's the commitment that you have to make if you're going to start doing this book. Okay.
Okay.
And then it talks a little bit about the sticky solution, truths and actions. How do I know I'm better today compared to 3 years ago? How do you know you're a better person today than you were 3 years ago, Jenny? And because you can look back at your journal 3 years ago and realize the minuscule activities you were trying to get yourself to do that you're doing now. Because minuscule activities lead to massive improvement. We know that. That's been the theme of everything. And I thought this was good and important. If you're not moving forward, you're most likely moving backwards. There is no standing still in life. I'll tell you, Jenny, I watch you with business development and all that sort of stuff. You are always moving forward. And there are times that unfortunately we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. It's happened to me before, but it talks about if you're not journaling and all that stuff, and we talk about let the day, you either run the day or the day runs you. This basically says, don't be the cow, the unconscious grazer that's just out there like, like living its life, you know what I mean? So, and the only way to make sure you're not the cow grazing is to, get your growth through reflection, meaning even if you did it this week and then went back and read last week, that's progress.
Yeah.
It's something.
I like it.
So,
and it's simple.
Okay, so truth number 3.
Okay.
The right action is the universal problem solver. So what is your biggest challenge? Is it a better relationship? Is it getting a relationship? Is it feeling more comfortable in your own skin? Increasing your financial stability? So it asks you, and it's another exercise that you have to go down and actually write down what are your biggest challenges. And the next one is, are there any identity statements that could change everything for you? So I'm always giving and receiving profound love and respect. That would be, that's one that they're suggesting as an identity statement. I am a person who's always giving and receiving profound love and respect. I am practicing self-love to promote a positive relationship with my body, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So that's just a few of the ideas. You like that stuff or not?
Very much.
All right, accountability. The key to growth is to learn to make promises and keep them. Stephen Covey. So accountability, the key to growth is to learn to make promises and to keep them. Oh, I'm moving along here. So basically the rest of it's just choosing a way to keep yourself accountable to write in the journal. Create tips and reminders, pick a friend or significant others to check on you daily through texts. Maybe like an AA sponsor. You know what I mean? Did you do it, Jenny?
Yeah.
I'm Jones and Matt. Well, give me a call.
Yeah.
Okay, write it.
Yeah.
Write it, Jenny. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe a visual reminder, and I saw that Sue Collins wrote this earlier, a reminder app. Where and you could set a clock in your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, that's it. I mean, does anybody have any other general comments that they want to make on this? Again, the 5-minute rule, if you do go by it without waiting, I can tell you that there's 2020, there's 2021, and they are dated, so they're per year, just to be aware of. But
okay.
Any final comments before we check out of here, Jenny? Anything you want to add?
No, I think this is cool. I like that it's easy, simple, because I know we all get super overwhelmed and like we can't, oh no, not one more thing. I can't do one more thing.
But how easy is that 5 minutes in the morning?
And just for yourself, and it'll make you happier and better and probably make more money.
Well, and
if that's what you care about.
It's balance all the way around, right?
Balance
all the way around. So, yes, Adam.
Yes, my
here we go.
Usual shameless weekly plug. Thank you. First of all, thank you to everyone who has been sharing this to their timelines. You guys are beautiful people. I love you. It's helping me and Michael stay employed.
He loves to say that.
I know.
Well, I can get on Chuck's nerves all day long, but if I get those numbers up, I stay employed. So thank you for sharing it to your timeline. Thank you for liking it. Thank you for commenting on it to boost our algorithm. Share the wealth, people. Other people need to hear this great knowledge. And also, I'd like to remind everyone about Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Once again, we'll be doing
Sales Mastery.
Yeah, Sales Mastery. We'll be
Episode 3.
Yep. And it's just on Facebook and YouTube. So
that sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Start journaling. Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
We're out. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.